In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome to the
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I checked today and all weekend, and it has not changed. It is, speaking of weekend, it is now the beginning of a brand new week. It is Monday, August the 24th in the year of our Lord, 2015, as we begin the week with a bang. Of course, the number, as always, should you wish to speak to me here live is toll-free 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. And just go right ahead and dial that number in and give me a buzz should you feel like you need to chastise me or congratulate me or agree with me or disagree with me or anything else for that matter in the subjects that we're talking about this evening. Speaking of subjects at hand, right now I'm trying something that is new. Well, new to me. It's a cigar, and it is it's a short cigar, and it's a Corona, and it's by 24-5. The number 24, and then the number 5. 24-5. It's their 1958. And I've never heard of it, and I've never tried it before, so I thought I'd give it a shot. It was a medium price stick. It was around $7, I do believe. So if you see, it's no, we don't have like a camera here, so I can't really show you the label, but the label is, it's the number 24 and the number 5. In black, the numbers are black, in a white circular background, and right below it is the number 1958, which is the model, if you will, of the cigar. Now, I don't know what the 1958 really means. I didn't get into detail about the cigar. In fact, I haven't even tried it yet, so I'll have to light it up and tell you what it's like. But we'll hold off for a bit because we got a lot to cover today. I know a lot of people are thinking and talking about the Dow and the Dow dropping. And some people are saying, well, the sky is falling, it's time to panic. I'm telling you, it's not time to panic yet. Now, I am not now, nor have I ever claimed to be, nor have I ever played a financial expert on any TV program or movie. So take what I have to say with a grain of salt. And that is, this is, if you look at the historical view of the stock market, this type of reversal, if you will, is nothing new. In fact, they often call it a market correction. Because a lot of times what happens, and I guess, the correction comes like clockwork almost, like every 18 or 19 or 20 months. You get this, and famously, well, we're not in October, but famously enough, it seems like almost most corrections happen on a Monday. We got Black Monday throughout history, for the stock market. There are a number of different Black Mondays. And this is no different. Well, it has a lot to do with the weekend and things that transpire over the weekend. Especially now that we're a more global economy. Well, there's a lot more that can happen over the weekend. So when people get back to work, at least here in the Western world, there are issues with all of that, with what happened over the weekend. And so you have to deal with that from time to time. And this is simply called a market correction. And the stock market didn't even drop 10% today. So it's not like I know some people, well, it was like almost 600 points. Well, yeah, but considering the value of the Dow right now, that is not a correction, or excuse me, that is not a drop that would be terrible. So it's not something that you have to really worry about at this particular point. If you are in stocks, I'm going to tell you to stay in stocks. I mean, listen to your financial advisor if you have one, because you and your financial advisor know what your financial goals are, and they better be able to tell you, how to reach your goals. But understand, unless you're a day trader, I call them day trippers. Are there really any day traders left? I know that was, for in the 90s, early 2000s when people could actually get real-time stuff on their computer. There are people that made a lot of money. They quit their jobs and they made a lot of money day trading. And I know a lot of people who lost a lot of money. Now, I never could figure out how people got started. Now, I heard people, there are people that saying, well, you need a lot of money to get started in day trading, of which at the time I did not have a lot of. But then I heard these stories about, I started with like $100. Like, really? How the hell do you start with all the software that you needed, at least back then, in order to, and a lot of these guys, they had more than one, they had two computers. Well, most people only had one at the time. So how did you get started with $100 when you got to buy the software, which costs more than $100? You got to buy the service, which costs more than $100. You got to buy another computer, which obviously back then cost more than $100. So I didn't know how they, there are people out there selling all those wonderful get rich guru quick scam thingies, how to make money in this. And there's still one that comes to, New England every once a year or so, how to make money in the stock market. And I always folks, let me just tell you something. If you think that the post office is really losing money because nobody's using it, then why don't you try getting on somebody's snail mail list? Because you will get all kinds of crap constantly. I am constantly getting stuff from all of these get-rich-quick gurus. Now, I have not attended any of these seminars. I think the last seminar of these get-rich-quick gurus I may have attended was back in the early 2000s. I haven't been to one since. And it was, I take that back. It's been a while now. It's been at least 5 years, probably 6 or 7 years. And it had to do with, making money online with, you find something like, say, a watch, and you make a website of watches. And this company came in, I forget the name of the company, but this company would use this company's service, and they'd help you build the website and market it and blah, blah, blah. It was a big scam. Because as it turned out, their whole service cost a hell of a lot more than if you were just to, do it on your own. Even at that time, the WYSIWYG stuff was very easy to use to build your own website. And website hosting was really inexpensive at that time. A lot less expensive than what they were charging. But they enticed you to come, and they would give you this a free MP3 player, and for the first 100 people, you'd get a free tablet. Now, I gotta tell you, the MP3 player that they gave away for free. Now, I'm not lying, folks. I am dead serious. This free MP3 player. Now, it wasn't an iPod. It wasn't that. But this free MP3 player, no name brand MP3 player, direct from China, it literally held only 15 songs. 15. That's, okay, free MP3 player, I get this. And I went, because I went, and they sent me the MP3 player. And so I tried to load songs on it, and I get to like song 16, 17, and 18, and it's like, your device is full. I'm like, what? Like, okay, everything downloaded that fast? So I go and open up, and it's like 15 songs. Look, I counted them, 15 songs. That way, it was about it was about an hour's worth of music. That's it. So I felt, it's a freebie, no big deal. So I go to this seminar, and supposedly the first 100 people, and I was one of the first 100 people to sign up for this thing, gets one of these tablets. They were mini tablets. I got it. No big deal. I thought, it'd be kind of fun to have. They ran out of them. So I'm thinking, if you're going to have 100 people here, and you expect to give out 100 of them, wouldn't you think you'd have enough? Well, again, it was a scam. So they were telling, there was more than 100 people in the room, so they were giving everybody one of these things. And the interesting thing about it is that now it was just the principle of the thing. I wanted this tablet. And so I had to make 5 phone calls for them over a 4-day period for them to finally send me one. And I got in the box. It looked exactly the same as the boxes that they were handing out at the seminar. I opened this thing. There's really no software to it. In order for it to be really useful, you had to use it online. Now, it had the Microsoft Windows browser on it. So I thought, okay, I'll just use it to browse online. No big deal. The thing could not connect to the internet. I tried every possible combination I could possibly think of to hook it up, even directly hardline it to my system. Wouldn't connect. So I thought, maybe I'll just take it with me to Panera Bread and a couple other cases. To this day, the thing has never been used because it would not connect to the internet in any fashion. Not even by direct hardline. And luckily I did not buy into this, because then after all of this, I decided to Google the company, and it was just page after page after page after page of people disappointed, believing they were scammed. And some people were paying $1,500, $3,000, $5,000 for these different levels of programs from this company. I'm not paying you one dime. So you always got to watch out for that, for the scammy stuff that's out there, especially when it comes to get rich quick. This actually has a point in politics, because we have a lot of people out there that think, the get rich quick, quote unquote, get rich quick type of thing can happen if you vote for this particular candidate. So that's all you got to do is you vote for this particular candidate, and you will get all kinds of goodies from the government. Well, first of all of those wonderful goodies, they never turn out to be as much as that you think. And you also find out that many times you do not qualify. Now, I know we have all these people. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were out there releasing their own plans on how people can get, their plans would give them college tuition at public schools. Well, that's a scam, because they think it's going to be free. Well, it's going to be free. And I see all these memes running around. Bernie Sanders wants to send your college or send you to college, or send your children to college. And then they have the picture of the top candidates for GOP, but these people want to send your kids to Iran. Like, first of all, nobody wants to send our kids to Iran. And second of all, they're not going to be sending your kids to college. And everybody's thinking, well, yeah, I mean, look at all this, how high tuition is at colleges. Well, that's at private schools, yes. Most public schools are fairly inexpensive. But you're not going to send your kid to school there for free, because there is no such thing as free if the government is paying for it. That's the whole point. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton's plan is to government pay the college, the tuition of your son or daughter going to college. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because they are going to pay with your tax dollars. My tax dollars. And it is, if it's tuition is only, like $5,000 now to go to a public school, well, it's going to be double that by the time it's only the government paying for it. We've already seen that type of thing happen in many different areas when government pays for stuff. So there's no free ride. There's no free lunch, as they say. So you get scammed when you go to these get-rich-quick seminars, and you also get scammed by the government when any of them tell you, well, yeah, the government's going to handle this, and the government's going to pay for that. What that's code for, well, we're going to raise your taxes. So, the college kid who thinks, well, yeah, I'm going to get a degree, and then he's going to get a useless degree. He's going to try to get a job with that useless degree, and then he's going to get a useless job with that, a low-paying job with that useless degree, and his taxes are going to be twice as what he thought they should have been, because he's still going to have to pay for all that college tuition that he thought he was getting for free. Yeah, no different. It's a scam. It's no different from a scam. It is a scam. It's no different from any of those get-rich-quick scams. You think you're getting something for nothing, and then when you actually get it, you find it is nowhere near what you were expecting. And it definitely has no quality whatsoever, no redeeming quality. I mean, I thought, well, hey, yeah, I got a free MP3 player, but it only held 15 songs. What good is that? Even if it's 2008, 2009, 2010, what good is that? I mean, I would need to get a couple, more than that. I'd have to have a pocket full of those things. Yeah, it was small. But again, it only held 15 songs. And then the tablet, it was a mini tablet, is about the size of today's current iPad mini, of which I have one and thoroughly enjoy. But it didn't have any operating software on it, so it was kind of pretty, not really. What it was on there was pretty useless. And it wouldn't connect to the internet, even though it had Windows, Internet Explorer on it. It wouldn't connect. So it was useless. I never used it because I couldn't. It was useless. Not to mention the battery life on the thing was literally 45 minutes. That was it. So I didn't get scammed like some people who spent $1,500 to $5,000 on this program. But I did get scammed. I got scammed out of 3 hours of my time. Because, of course, you didn't get anything that they promised you at the seminar until after the seminar was over. And, of course, for a 3-hour-long seminar, 2 hours and 50 minutes of it was nothing but a sales pitch for their $1,500 to $5,000 package. So all we're getting from Bernie Sanders is a sales pitch without telling you the real cost of this thing. Because I haven't heard anything from Bernie Sanders of what this will really cost. We hear these huge numbers. Oh, well, we can save all this money if we pay for college for students. Really? Well, Bernie, how are we going to pay for that when we already have we're approaching $20 trillion in debt, and we're approaching $200 trillion in unfunded mandates, mostly from Obamacare, Social Security, and Medicare and Medicaid. How are we going to pay for all that? And now you want to well, it's only going to cost like $350 billion. Well, $300 billion or $350 billion, if you're already in the hole for $218 trillion, where are you going to get the $350 billion? We can tax, rich people more. I thought you already wanted to tax rich people more in order to pay down the debt, as well as pay for some of these other socialistic programs. Well, yeah, we do. Well, even the rich in this country only have so much money. It's not an infinite supply. It can only stretch so far. And we know for a fact, just looking at the numbers, that if you look at the amount of money that the wealthy have, and we're talking their wealth, not their cash, their wealth. What was it? I think you could, if you were to confiscate all the wealth from like the top 10% wealthiest people in the country, you'd be able to run our federal government. Just run it, not pay off any debt. You'd be able to run the government for for about 2 months or less. So if the wealthy can't even pay for government to run off of all of their assets, how are they going to pay off $18 trillion or $200 trillion? And then toss on another $350 billion to give kids free college education. It's a scam, folks. It's a scam. These get-rich-quick gurus, they do the same thing that politicians do. They play on your emotions and think, well, geez, you're going to get something really, really good and purposeful and meaningful and legitimate for nothing. All you got to do is show up. Right? Government, all you got to do is, hey, you want free education? All you got to do is show up to campus. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. Never has worked that way. Never will work that way. Anybody's just going to be able to walk up and get free tuition at a public school? No, they're going to say, well, you got to have a scholarship. You're just going to start being conditions. And then American people are going to say, well, we can't afford this. And then they're going to start cutting back. Then they're going to start taxing you on your benefits because they're going to call it a benefit of going to school. So they're going to tax you on that benefit. But look, don't doubt me. The government is going to scam you into believing that Bernie Sanders is being very benevolent by offering everybody who wants to go to a public college to get an education free tuition. Well, nothing is free. At least nothing that is absolutely worth anything is free. But it will cost you a lot more in the end. For me, I lost 3 hours of my entire life that I will never get back. Plus, I don't know how much time on the phone trying to get that free, worthless tablet. We'll be back.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
There's a bit of a bite in this cigar. A bit of a bite, yes, during the profit break. I decided to light it up just to test it. The 24 and 5, their 1958 Corona. Has a woodsy tone. It is smooth, but it does at the end has a little bit of a. It's very smooth and mild, but it does have a tiny bit of a bite at the end, which is very nice actually. Hey, for $7, it's not too bad. I've had smokes that for that price range and even less that were better than that one, but you don't get them often. But it's you just have to go with your own. Now, some people are going to absolutely love that stick. That everything is preference when it comes to taste like that. What doesn't come to as preference to taste is it shouldn't. Is politics and finances. Now, sure, there's a little bit to be said about, your own preference when it comes to finances. What type of risk are you willing to take? Can you stand? Can you stand being in nothing but emerging stocks or penny stocks, or are you so adverse to risk that the best thing, the most risk you're willing to take is a bank CD, certificate of deposit? So there are all that kind and there's everything in between. The only thing safer than a bank's certificate of deposit would probably be, a plain old savings account. And no, I don't think hiding the money under your mattress is safer. I think, depending on where you live, if you get robbed, you can lose that. And it's not insured by, the government, but what people are doing now is they think that they need to panic because the Dow has dropped by almost 600 points. Well, it's not 10%. We've been through these corrections before, and it's about time for a correction because, frankly, the Dow's been going up and up and up and up for a while. And yes, there are some issues with China, and China playing around with its currency again. This is nothing new. The entire world knows that China plays with its currency. And the entire world knows that China often plays unfairly with its currency. So a lot of places, including the United States, we take that type of manipulation into account. We don't like it. Some countries think that it's unfair. It is. But every government tries to manipulate their currency in one form or another, in some way or another. In the simplest way, how you manipulate currency, we do that here quite often by printing more money, or you raise or lower taxes, or you have the Federal, Reserve raise or lower prime interest rates. All of those things have an effect on a country's currency. And in effect is government manipulation. So what China's doing is really no different than what any other Western or advanced or economically developed nation is doing or has done. Now, granted, they may do it on a larger scale, or they may do it more dramatically than most of the rest of the world. But make no mistake about it, they're not the only ones who manipulate their currency. So this whole notion that China's got to play by the rules, no. No, they got to play by their own set of rules, and that's how to survive for them and their people, which is something the United States government needs to learn. You know, they used to know that, but it seems like they need a refresher course. But since everybody knows that everybody manipulates their currency, there are certain, shall we say, built-in mechanisms to protect countries and currencies from over-manipulation. Now, granted, China is arguably the world's second largest economy now. So if China gets a cold, the sniffles, well, a lot of countries are going to get a cold, obviously. But even the United States is not free from the effects of China going into a recession. Now, we are, fairly tightly tied with China now because of all the manufacturing of American companies that are in China and all the importing that we now do from China and all the money that's being sent back and forth between China and the United States. Yeah, there's there could be a problem there. Absolutely. It's like it used to be that, if the United States got the sniffles, then economy got the sniffles and Japan caught a cold. If the United States caught a cold, if the United States economy caught a cold, then Japan's economy caught the flu. And to some degree, although it has lessened, that symbiosis has lessened, but it's still there to some degree. But Japan has learned how to wean itself away from the United States by being a partner with the rest of the world. Sure, we're by far still Japan's largest trading partner, but they're willing to trade with China and they're willing to trade anywhere. You can find Toyotas in Europe now. So this whole notion that this is a global market. So yeah, everybody's starting to become more and more and more entwined. Now, you have to look out for something, however. Now, this is where you need to be careful. And again, I'm not a financial expert, but this is where you need to be careful and hedge your bets. Now, China, along with Russia, has already stated that they would like to see a different world business currency and government currency other than the U.S. dollar. And we as the United States, we want to fight that because, as long as we're the world's currency, we can monetize our debt and keep accruing debt and keep monetizing it without any real worldwide devastation. And, we won't be called, all our notes won't be called because we're the world currency. So unlike Iceland, the United States at this particular juncture, because we can continue to print money and monetize our debt, we really can't go bankrupt. We can get to a point where the debt is just so enormous that somebody's going to say someday, hold on, time out, like they did with England and the sterling, the pound sterling, because that used to be the world currency. before the U.S. dollar. And then after World War II, England did some stupid things and they went socialistic. And so the world said, yeah, well, we don't want that anymore. And because the world switched from the pound sterling being the world currency, England couldn't monetize its debt. It couldn't keep printing money like crazy. So, a lot of their debts were coming due as a government, and their economy went in the crapper. And it was almost like another depression for them. Meanwhile, because the United States dollar became the world standard, our economy in the 50s and 60s and 80s and 90s boomed. Yeah, we had some setbacks in the 70s, and we had some setbacks in the early 2000s and in the early part of the 90s. But for the most part, for the last 60 years, we've been on a roll. So this whole notion that everybody should all of a sudden start to panic, that's a false notion. But it does mean that we need to have people in office that understand this kind of stuff. And I'm already hearing people saying it. I know. But we need to have people in place that understand these kind of economic trends. Because the economies go up and down, up and down. As much as they try to manipulate, the reason for manipulating economies and manipulating nations' currencies is so you don't have the dips, the highs and lows, the valleys and peaks. What they want to try to do is level it all out. Because for some reason, we have a bunch of people that like to run countries that think, the best thing to do is always be level. There's no surprises, no surprises, no surprises. There's no dips, no valleys, no rises. We just keep it nice on a nice, even keel. Well, that's impossible. Even if we had one world currency, to have a level economic growth chart, or you wouldn't really have any growth. It would just be the same all the way through. It's an impossibility. It's not, because there's too many factors involved that affect a country's economy. And that really depends on differing world conditions. That depends on, another country. Hey, now they're growing and they're coming out of the third world and they're trying to become an emerging economy, like India and China. That has an effect on everybody's economy. Well, what are you going to do? Are they saying that some countries that haven't already jumped into the 21st century economy-wise, that they never can? They have to stay third world for the rest of their existence? Well, if you do that, that's the only way you're going to have some sort of way to keep the economy all over the globe at a level pace forever. Nothing can change. There can be no growth. But yet we still have these wonderful people running around out there thinking that they can manage everything. Those are big government, big statist minds that think that they know better than everybody else, and they can manage every last minute detail in every single country, with every single city, with every single citizen across the planet. Oh, we can manage everything. You can't manage jack. That's the problem. That's why these countries manipulate their currencies like China, because they think they can manage it all. And they think they're so freaking smart. And every single time we repeat the same damn thing over and over and over again, because nobody's smart enough to be able to manipulate the entire world at the same time and keep everything exactly the same, because the whole nature of humankind is to grow. Even from the dark ages, you had men and women who were looking out there for knowledge, to grow not only themselves, but humankind, period. There is no possible way to keep the status quo as we are currently at any level for any length of time. You can't even do it for a day, let alone a year or more, because we're too curious. We want to grow. And no matter, look, you had the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition where, everybody had to believe according to, the world was flat, we're the center of the universe and blah, blah, blah. But that didn't stop mankind from learning, did it? Absolutely not. It did not stop us from yearning and wanting to grow because God actually put that in us. There's no way to stop it. You can't manage it. But yet we still elect all over the world and put these yahoos in power, yet think that they're smart enough to be able to manipulate everything. And then those who aren't in power, they get on the radio and TV because all of a sudden now they sound so smart and they scare the living Beelzebub out of you. And then you run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And that's not true at all. So you have to have people in place that understand how all this works, and at the same time, they want to leave you alone enough so you can do what you need to do for you and your family and your community. And I know people are out there saying, well, that's Donald Trump, Rod, because he's a businessman. He's a world businessman. He's a business leader. He's a multi-billionaire. He knows how to do that kind of stuff, Rod. I'm telling you, Rod, it's Donald Trump. He's the only one who can do that. Well, I like Donald. I don't believe he's the only one that can do that. But yeah, maybe it is time that we have a non-politician run the White House for a little while. Look, we did hope and change for what will be 8 years, and look what the kind of hope and change we got. Nothing that most of us wanted. So if we can do that for 8 years, why can't we give a businessman 4 years? If you don't like what he does in 4 years, kick his butt out. Fire him. It's that simple. Yeah, you can. Actually, speaking of, I got a story here on Obama that just really, it gets my goat. Really gets my goat, folks. And it's it is, it's the ultimate of hypocrisy. Can you say hypocrite? I knew you could. Here's a guy that knows really nothing about anything except how to inflate his own ego. Obama's really good at inflating his own ego. He really is. He's very good at being arrogant and narcissistic. And, well, Obama's not arrogant and narcissistic. Yes, he is. He's an arrogant, pompous ass. And he's not a very nice one. I mean, I've met some arrogant, pompous asses before, and some of them have been kind of nice. Some of them have been kind of funny. I mean, they're an arrogant, pompous ass, but they're funny about it, and they're actually you kind of like being around them, and that's part of their charm. And then there are some people who are arrogant, pompous asses that you just don't want anything to do with, and Obama's one of those. He really is. Oh, somebody said, well, someday you're probably going to sit down and have a beer with him. No, I don't want to have a beer with that man. I really don't. See, one thing about me is that people just, I find it hard to believe that I am such an enigma that people just do not believe that I will not bend for anyone, anytime, anything, and let my principles go. I won't. I would rather be poor than to bend it like that. Oh, Rod, nobody's like that. Yeah, there are a lot of people like that, and I'm one. That's why I'm so surprised that people think that I'm an enigma on that. Well, yeah, look, you got Donald Trump can't be bought. At least from what we've seen, he's his own man. He just can't be bought. I'm like Donald Trump. I just cannot be bought. There's nothing that I find that is so valuable as to cheapen my own personal value and worth. And I'm not going to sell it. But here you have Obama. I mean, look, in the middle of all this stuff, Now we have an economic crisis that is brewing, and I shouldn't say crisis because it's not really a crisis yet. It's just it's a market correction because of China did something, and everybody else has to adjust to it. It just takes a little bit of time to adjust to it. So don't go, I'm going to get out of stocks and mutual funds and all. No, I wouldn't do that because you're going to lose money. And right now, if you've lost anything, it's on paper only. It'll go back up. I loved all those people that jumped out of the stock. And you remember Black Monday or Thursday, whatever it was, a few years ago. And everybody was like jumping out the window, figuratively, selling off everything. I lost so much money. Well, no. You don't sell anything off. Look, I found out that my father, through one of his mutual funds, lost half his money because of Bernie Madoff. But you know what he did? He didn't take everything out and say, woe is me, woe is me. No. He went and he looked at the damage and he said, how do we stop the damage? To his financial advisor. His advisor said, well, you should do this, and this. And my dad looked at it and said, okay, we'll do this and this in order to lessen the damage and then to regrow what he lost. He wasn't getting out and actually taking the loss. So you don't lose anything on paper because paper doesn't really count. You only lose it when you take it out and you have it in your hands, and then, then you realize you're in trouble. But he was able to recoup quite a bit of that loss because he didn't get out and say, that's it, I'm done. He didn't run around trying to be a hypocrite and tell everybody else, well, do this and don't do what I do and all that kind of stuff, like Obama. Obama's out there now talking about how Congress isn't doing their job because why? Because they went on vacation. Now, he was complaining about Congress going on vacation while he was on vacation. Now, I don't know how much more of a pompous ass you need to be in order to complain that somebody else is going on vacation before getting their job done while you're on vacation not doing your job. I mean, somebody explain that to me. I mean, this guy is, I saw a statistic the other day. What was it? 1,100 hours of golf that he's played since being in office? Since being in 11. Remember how the Democrats had a total hissy fit when George Herbert Walker Bush played one round of golf during Desert Shield, not Storm, Desert Shield. The liberals had a conniption about George Herbert Walker Bush playing one round of golf. Obama has played over 200 rounds of golf, even during active combat. When America was involved in active combat in Iraq and Afghanistan, we're still in Afghanistan, and yet he's played how many rounds of golf? Over 200 rounds of golf, over 1,100 hours spent on the golf course. 1,100 hours on the golf course. And he's been on more vacations, and this is governmental facts, folks, not, I know some people will say, well, Bush took a lot of vacation. No. This man has taken more vacations than any other president in history. And yet he's going to chastise Congress for not completing their job and going on vacation. Are you kidding me? This is not normal. You don't sit around and criticize somebody else for doing exactly what you're doing while you're doing what you're criticizing them for doing. Do you get what I just said? Let me put it to you in layman's terms. Let me make it easy for even the doltiest of you dolt-head liberals to understand. Obama while on another vacation, is criticizing Congress for going on vacation before they finish their work. But yet the president went on vacation so he could chastise Congress while he's on vacation, chastise them for going on vacation before he finished his work. Can you say hypocrite? I want to say, well, obviously he's not fat, so you can't call him hippo. And you can't call him hippo brain either because he doesn't have a big one. It's a tiny little walnut thing. I think the Secret Service have to be out there on squirrel patrol. Why? Because Obama's brain is no bigger than a walnut, and the squirrels might mistake his head for food. I mean, you can't. Yeah. Did he just call the president a walnut head? Well, yeah, and that's too bad because I actually like walnuts. I like nuts, but not that kind of nut. I mean, he's unbelievable that you would have somebody with the gall. I mean, the big. Can you imagine the big brass kahunas that it takes to chastise and criticize an elected body of representatives for going on vacation while you're on vacation and you're also an elected representative of the people? I mean, that would be like Harry Reid saying, "Okay, we're going to adjourn the Senate and go on vacation," and then Harry Reid, while he's out there on vacation in Colorado, saying, the Senate, they wanted to adjourn and go on vacation, and they didn't finish their work, so they. How crazy would that be? Well, that's Obama. Obama's got all this kind of stuff that he should be attending to. Even on World Matters, because he is the president. And instead, he goes on vacation. And then while on vacation, he chastises other people for going on vacation. They're all a bunch of do-nothings. Maybe we should just, do something really radical. And that radical thing, well, I'm sure you know what I'm going to say. Why don't we just put them all on vacation permanently?
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form codex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Alright folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
The wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, good evening, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live once again from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Monday, August the 24th in the year of our Lord 2015. And the number that you can call to join me this evening is toll-free 603-835-3224. Just a quick program note. Tomorrow's edition will be a best of program because I will be... how can I put this without giving away the store? I will be interviewing, I guess is a good way of putting it. Yours truly will be interviewing to be on terrestrial radio. So yes, that's the best way I can put it right now. And we'll tell you how it goes on Wednesday when I get back in the Freedom Throne, back here in the bunkerized home studio. Yeah, I don't stand up when I do this. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, I did at one point. I did the show standing up, and there was a lot of energy there. But I tried that. I think that was, I went on one of those trends. It followed one of those trends. The stand up desk. It's a big trend a few years ago, and I tried it. It was okay, but then I found I didn't really like it because it was kind of awkward trying to do work because you could never, and I didn't buy, maybe it's because I didn't buy one of those overly priced standing desk that you can adjust manually. I mean, it's just because you could raise it up and down is going to add another $500 to the desk. I didn't think that was, a good investment. So I was using one of these hacked, you put together a standing desk. And the thing is that it was at the exact height of a regular standing desk that you could buy, because, you measure, that's how you find out. It's the exact height. But it was not comfortable. So I tried it for like a year, and I gave it about a year, and I just said, let me go back to sitting down. And I noticed, sitting down, standing up, my energy level doesn't change. Now I know a lot. There are people in radio land that broadcast and they stand. I think if you watch Kid Craddock in the morning, if you actually see them, their video feed, I think they're all standing. But then again, if you watch others like the Kane Show, they're all sitting. So it just depends on, I guess your preference, or if your radio station is willing to afford chairs or not. That doesn't bother me either way if it's only going to be temporary. But if I'm doing the show for 2 or 3 hours, then I think I'd just prefer to sit. So sit it is. I sit and I started off in the Freedom Throne, sitting in the Freedom Throne, and people are asking, well, what is the Freedom Throne? It's a chair. A comfortable chair. That's exactly what it is. And I broadcast over the Freedom mic. What's the Freedom mic? Well, it's not, gold laden or gold plated or gold infused, like the EIB microphone for Rush. He calls it the golden EIB microphone. I don't know if it is gold or not, but I don't have anything like that. But I do have a nice, mic. And it's actually, no, it's not the mic that I started with. But this is a mic I've been using since around 2010-11. It's a good mic. Call it the Freedom mic. It's there was a Freedom mic before this mic, but that one eventually kind of sucked, and so I got this one, and this has been doing its duty ever since, spreading the gospel of freedom all across the fruited plain, in the Purple Mountains, and the valleys below, and the Great Lakes and the oceans, and white with foam, all that kind of stuff. There is a congressman who needs to get his priorities straight. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, really? Congressman that needs to get his priorities straight. But this congressman reprimands the father of a teen killed by a drunk driving illegal alien. You won't believe why this congressman is reprimanding this grieving father. This is a CNSnews.com story. And here the story goes thus. In emotional testimony before a House joint panel earlier last week, a Virginia man recalled the death of his teenage daughter back in 2007. She was 16 years old in 2007, by the way. A death caused by an illegal immigrant who was drinking and driving. In other words, he was driving drunk. He was drunk driving. And who had been arrested twice before this drunk driving crime. But he was not deported. 2 years ago, this week, my daughter, 16-year-old daughter, Tessa, and her best friend, Allison, were killed as they were sitting in an intersection waiting for a red light to change. Now, Ray Transient is said as friends placed a photograph of Tessa Transient on an easel behind him. And this is actually a story from 2009, but hold on. Since his daughter's death, Transient, a professor from Virginia Beach, has become an advocate for the enforcement of immigration law. Now, as Transient applauded local law enforcement in Virginia for its increased efforts to work with federal immigration authorities since his daughter's death, he referred to individuals listed on the Immigration and Customs Enforcement database as illegal aliens with criminal backgrounds as banditos. Now, that comment drew a rebuff from Representative Luis Gutierrez, a Democrat out of Illinois. Now, Mr. Transient, he said, I can share with you as the father of two daughters, that I thank you for bringing your testimony here, but I suggest to you that if you refer to people as banditos, as you referred to them in your testimony, it does not help to solve the problem. Well, let's fast forward to 2015, San Francisco, where they do not use the term bandito to describe a criminal illegal alien. And what does that criminal illegal alien do? They do what banditos do, because bandito is another name for criminal, or a word for criminal in Spanish. And this bandito, killed an American citizen. So this whole notion that we were supposed to be kind and gentle and not use, awful nicknames that justly refer to what these people are like and who they really are, was occurring all the way back when? 2009 and before. And they constantly tell us, well, that's, name calling isn't going to solve anything. So they get us to stop name calling, and they still don't solve anything. In fact, the problem gets worse because, this guy out in San Francisco killing this wonderful, lovely woman, cutting her life short, is not the only person being killed by illegal aliens. And obviously, this has been going on at least since 2007, and we can go back even further to see, even back in time even further, to see even more illegal aliens killing even more legal citizens here in this country. It's not like the citizens of the United States are traveling into Mexico and getting killed. Well, that's a different story, but they're not doing that. No. There's some place where they think they're supposed to be safe in their own country, in their own city, in their own neighborhoods, and they're being whacked by illegals who come from another country, most likely over the Mexican-United States border, into this country illegally, of which, we're not supposed to call them banditos, but they're still criminals. They come over here. They were committing crimes down in Mexico. They were probably running from the Mexican police, and so they're coming across the border for a better life because, hey, this is better crime up here. So they're going to come up here and do crime up here and even kill American citizens who should not even be facing these illegal immigrants because a lot of them have been caught before and they were never deported. They were released, or they actually served some prison time here in the United States and were released upon the streets, as if we don't have enough criminals that are citizens that we release upon the streets. Now we got to release criminals who are illegal aliens to do harm to citizens. And these congressmen and these Democrats, these Democratic idiots, are going to chastise an American citizen for using the word bandito or calling them a criminal. Are you insane? Yes, they're insane. And I will tell you this, I have come to fully believe that liberalism is a full-fledged mental disorder. Full-fledged mental disorder. It is. I'm sorry to say, but it really is a full-fledged mental disorder. Well, folks, I have to take a moment here because it looks like one of the live broadcast feeds has cut out. So if you're not hearing this, obviously you're not going to hear what I have to say after that, but I do apologize. Hopefully we can get that feed redirected and back up. But otherwise, just stick here, and hopefully people will come over from the other feeds. See, look, I've got feeds, syndication all over the place, but I was just notified here on my computer that one of the live feeds cut off. And I do, for people who will be able to hear the rest of the show later on an archive episode, I do apologize for that. It's nothing I did here. I can assure you. So I don't know. We'll have to look into it and see what happened with that. But we do apologize for the live feed being cut and the show being cut short of it. I mean, maybe they had something they have to interrupt over there. That's possible. That happens. But we're still live and we're still plugging forward. But anyway, by the way, we will, I got some good stuff coming up for the program. News about the program. So you're going to find out more as time goes on, like in September. Some good stuff coming. You're going to want to tell, I'm going to give myself a shameless plug here. You're going to want to tell everybody you know to tune in and listen to this program, as well as becoming fans over there. We hit the 3,000 fan or 3,000 like mark over on Facebook. And, that's a good milestone. Because, most of that is organic. I'm not out there advertising, all the time to try to get people. And I don't go over to I know you can get, buy these things, for $10, I'll get you 5,000 likes or what have you. I have not done any of that. So it's mostly organic, which is a real cool thing. Because, those are real people. So if you are under the sound of my voice and you haven't gone over to the Rod Eccles Show page over on Facebook, you should look it up because it is very active. There are some very, very intelligent fans over there. And you can, if you want to read some great comments to stuff that's being posted over there by yours truly, I can tell you there are some great comments over there. And you can interact with these people too. I don't hold, anybody. If you're a liberal, you can go over there and try to challenge. I'm just going to tell you, if you're a liberal and you try to go over to the Rod Eccles Show page and think that you can bust in there and shut all the conservatives down, there have been liberals that have tried, and I have not banned them And I'm the only one that can do the banning over there, and I haven't banned any, them. I think I banned one person because he was just way over the top, belligerent name calling. But, for the most part, liberals can be, respectful. Then I don't have an issue with them being there. Just as I would hope and see that in a I guess you could say a combative discourse, people are respectful towards the liberal. And it's an interesting, often the liberal always loses simply because they don't use fact. They use fiction for their argument. But every once in a while, liberals will make a decent or a good, valid point. That's good. That is good. So I welcome that. And there's a lot of back and forth and discussion about different topics that affect this country over there on the Rod Eccles Show page on Facebook. You need to be a part of it. I'm just saying. You need to be a part of it. You need to go over there and you need to like it. And you need to participate. And you get some great information from me, first of all, from all over the place. I have a massive news feed, and it's growing by leaps. And I get people say, "Well, all you do, Rod, is just get your stuff from right-leaning conservative." No, I don't. I've gotten stuff, that was very interesting from the Huffington Post and from USA Today. Those are, and from the New York Times and from the LA Times and from other, even from Salon.com. I go all over. My news feed goes all over to get stuff. So if it pops up and if it's of interest to me, then I think it'll be of interest to you. I'll either talk about it here on the show or I'll post it over there on the show page. And oftentimes you'll also see a tweet about it. So you might want to follow me. I got close to 10,000 followers on Twitter. And again, those are real. Again, I didn't run it, because I know you can go out there and you can buy Twitter followers. I've never done that. And, I even make sure, because I clean out my Twitter feed on a regular basis. And if I see people that don't look like they're, like they're paying attention or they haven't signed on in a while, I get rid of them. I stop following them, and I have a program that I could force somebody to unfollow me. Because I want this to be real stuff, real interaction, real people out there. So when you're looking at the number of followers I have, those are real people. They're not fake. So that's a good thing. So you're going to want to join that. And all of my the social media accounts I have, and you can find out all those social media accounts over at rodeccles.net. I even have a Pinterest account. And in that Pinterest account, there is a Rod Eccles Show board. And if you want to, try to get to know a little bit more about me, you could look at all my different boards on Pinterest. I have varied interest. And some of that stuff might surprise some people. I've gotten some liberals who've contacted me and said, "Yeah, I'm following you on Pinterest now. I mean, I was kind of surprised you'd be interested in stuff like that." Well, as if a conservative can't be interested in things that, help preserve the environment. Real things that actually work, not none of this nonsense that liberals try to put out there, but stuff that really works, that really does save money, saves energy, saves time. I'm into that kind of stuff. Most conservatives are into that kind of stuff. We like nature. Most conservatives like being out. I mean, if for anything, we like to hunt. We like to fish. We like to be outdoors. We don't want to see the environment destroyed because then we don't get to enjoy it either. We want to see it preserved for ourselves and for our posterity. We want our kids to be able to. We want our kids to be able to enjoy all of that stuff. We don't. We're not out there to try to destroy the planet like liberals often claim. That is the most ridiculous, redonkulous nonsense that I have ever heard. All you guys want to do is, poison the air and poison the water and poison our food and poison everybody and kill everybody. Well, but they base all of their stupidity and all their laws and all their, court cases and based on this kind of ridiculous notion that conservatives, including Christians, hate the earth. That's just insanity. Actually, I heard something today that was kind of interesting. And it really put in perspective why the so-called wacko environmentalists really aren't green environmentalists. Because they want to do away with what? What's the big... CO2, is a big culprit, global warming. Well, this planet needs CO2. Along with water and oxygen, CO2 is necessary for life on this planet. It's what makes everything green. And if it makes everything green, all of those things that are not green, like animals, like the wonderful Cecil the lion who was killed a few weeks ago, without all that green, then the animals wouldn't have any food. Especially the vegetarian animals. And if the vegetarian animals didn't have any food, then there wouldn't be any vegetarian animals, which means there wouldn't be any meat-eating animals, and there wouldn't have been Cecil the lion. All of that because of CO2, of which wacko leftist environmentalists don't like it. So if anybody is anti-earth, anti-green, anti-environment, it's the environmentalist wackos who don't want us to have CO2 in our atmosphere. Think about that for a second. Oh, we can't. Look, the rest of the planet outside of mankind puts out way more CO2 than mankind does. And then you got to think about all the animals as well as man who, we breathe. We inhale oxygen and exhale, mammals inhale oxygen, exhale CO2. All the animals do that too. So what? Does that make everything on this planet anti-environment? I get it. So if you're going to follow the mantra and the logic of the left, now pay attention here, folks, because this is brilliance here, brilliance on parade. If you're going to pay attention to the liberals on the left about CO2, then you would have to say that everything on this planet is anti-environment. That's right. And even Cecil the lion is he's a Republican. And he needed to be killed.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
And we are back. Hey, Ashley Madison, it's still it's big news in the news. And it's not what a lot of people think. Now, I have seen a lot of the fallout, or a lot of the people talking and discussing about Ashley Madison. And surprisingly enough, from the left, too, there are a lot of people talking about, well, all of those people on Ashley Madison, they deserve what they get. You know, talking about, well, they're cheating on their wives or their husbands, and they need to be exposed. Well, the recent story of this continuing saga is that Ashley Madison, basically, this is including extortion. Possible suicide. I just heard of some stories about two people committing suicide over this, or trying to commit suicide. I will find out more. I mean, this stuff just comes across my newsfeed, and I haven't had time to review. I may be superhuman to some of you, but I still have only 24 hours in a day, like all of you. Yes, I might be a little bit more efficient than many people, but I still only have 24 hours a day, so I cannot see everything and review everything. But there's something came across that there were two suicides, or potential or possible suicides, because of this Ashley Madison thing. I guess there was some exposure of extortion that was going on because of this Ashley Madison thing. So Ashley Madison has offered a very big reward. Basically, they put a price tag on the head of the hacker or hackers. $500,000 big ones. $500,000. So if you have any information that could expose who the hacker or hackers is or are, you could pocket yourself $500,000 as a reward. Now, we know that with this revealing look due to the hackers of Ashley Madison, that and for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't know what Ashley Madison is a website. It's called Ashley. The website's called Ashley Madison. Now, is there? I don't think there really is. No, this is owned by a company, an internet company. Well, they have a number of different internet properties, I do believe, and Ashley Madison is one of them. And I don't think there's anybody actually named that. Well, there might be somebody in the country named Ashley Madison, but I don't think that this is actually. I don't know anything about Ashley Madison. I'm just going to be frank with you. Other than the fact that I know that it's a site that was used and advertised as being a discreet place where those who are currently hitched, married, can have an easier time of cheating on their spouse. Be the cheating person, be a man or a woman, doesn't matter. And evidently there's also, different categories on Ashley Madison, that you could be a man seeking a woman. You could be a woman seeking a man. You could be a man seeking a man to cheat on your wife with, I guess. Or you could be a woman seeking to cheat on your husband with another woman. They have those different subcategories, I guess. I don't really know. But all this information was divulged by the hackers. Now, see, this is where it gets to be problematic. It's one thing to say, okay, the hackers revealed all the names of the members. Okay. But this is kind of like the Snowden case, where you got all these people talking about, well, Snowden was a hero for telling the American people that the NSA was spying on them. Well, yeah, he was a whistleblower. But then he went beyond that and started talking about and divulging information about when, where, and how we were spying on other countries. That's not being a hero. Okay, you might want to have a good argument saying Ashley Madison was being, the hacker was being a hero for exposing people who were cheating on their spouses, exposing the names. Okay, unfortunately, there might be a lot of people who have the same name as this cheater, so I feel, Joe Smith. I would hate to be a Joe Smith anywhere in this country, because every woman who's married to a Joe Smith is now going to think that Joe Smith is their husband, Joe Smith. But, just putting out you get the example. Just putting out the names out there. Oh, you can call him a hero for doing that. Fine. I might capitulate to that. It was an illegal act, hacking into the site, but I might capitulate to that. But they went way beyond that. Not only did they release the names, but they released what they were doing or seeking, as well as their financial information and other information used to access Ashley Madison. This is a breach of confidence. It is a breach of protocol. It is a breach of privacy beyond the need for people to tell somebody else that, your spouse is potentially having extramarital affairs on you. I mean, now you're starting to divulge financial information and other information, like what they do for their jobs, where they were accessing the site. And we find out that we have government officials, not only in Congress, but in the White House, that were doing this. Now, this opens the door for extortion big time. This person or persons responsible for this information or data dump is not a hero. They're a big time criminal. They need to be brought to justice. I'm sorry, but they do. And frankly, you know, it's not. Look, we've already been. If President Bill Clinton can get away with having, you know, no sexual relations with that woman in the White House and in the Oval Office, then why is it anybody's business that if somebody who's not the president, doesn't have sexual relations with a woman in an office somewhere? You get my point. But to also think about all the potential identity theft, and that's going to harm a lot of people beyond those who are on the site, who are members of the site. There are a lot of people who are going to be hurt by this, emotionally and financially. Now, do you really want to believe that people who do not have anything to do with Ashley Madison should be affected emotionally and financially? I mean, how about the spouse that's being cheated on? I mean, let's just say, you know, the guy is doing the cheating and the wife finds out that, you know, her husband was cheating, and all of a sudden their personal financial information is out there, and their good credit and everything is ruined because somebody was able to take their personal identities and start screwing around with it illegally. Now the innocent wife, who didn't know that her husband was having an affair, all of a sudden now is thrust out into the public. Hey, and probably, you know, having some local reporter shove a microphone in their face. What do you think about your husband cheating on you? And then coming to find out about a month later that somebody stole their identity and is charging up new credit cards out, you know, 2,000 miles away in a state that they've never been to. And their credit is ruined. So even if she did want to leave him, it would be a near impossibility because both of their credit ratings have now been disastrously harmed. That's real stuff. That's real anti-freedom, folks. As I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a lot of people, especially congressmen and senators, who are thinking, whoa, man. I mean, all you can think of is what? Congressman Weiner. Remember him? Oh, but this is far worse than that. Now you have all these wonderful government people in probably important positions. Well, we should know if they're fooling around. Why? Because now all this does is puts a target on them, because I can guarantee you that if these people, many of these people, if they're on Ashley Madison, they're probably on something else as well. Maybe a few other something else's. And maybe on those few other something else's, they don't want people to know exactly what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe some of them are on the down low on another site. I don't know. What's the other hookups? There's a bunch of them. Young people use one. What's it? Oh my goodness. I can't. Tinder. That's one, right? Tinder. So what if somebody's also in Tinder? You know, it's supposed to be a discreet, isn't there, there's one for, is the lesbian called, is it Kinder or something? There's a lesbian one. I know there's a gay one. That's, everybody knows what that one is. I mean, it's all over Facebook, actually. It's called Grindr. So what if one of these people is all of a sudden they're on Grindr or Tinder or Kinder or whatever it is, and they don't want other people to know? Well, somebody's going to go look them up and try to find out. And that opens up to the possibility of extortion of people in our government. Big time. And folks, this is a disaster. There is no way that any one of us should construe these hackers as being heroes. I don't care where your morality lies. Yeah, I think it is wrong for people to try to help others, but you know what? It's not their responsibility. It's the one who's doing the cheating. It's their responsibility. I mean, it's no different from a wife sitting with her girlfriends and saying, "Oh man, you know the waiter, yeah, whoa, man, that would be kind of nice to have a romp in the hay with him." And the girlfriend saying, "Well, I know who he is. I know his name. I know where he lives. I can hook you up." That happens all the time, too. And we've even had movies about that. Was it the Sonny Weiscarver story and a few other movies? You know, the pizza delivery boy and the pool boy and that kind of thing. This is not a good thing, folks. It's really not. You may want to believe that it's, you know, that it's heroic for exposing people like this, but it is a breach. Now look, you got to understand, if they can get into Ashley Madison, they can probably get into anywhere. Now, how about benign sites where nobody's doing anything nefarious or morally corrupt or questionable, and they expose that information? What they're saying, folks, is, yes, maybe we don't like Ashley Madison, but if we can get into Ashley Madison, which obviously probably had some very high-level security systems, and they breached that security, they can breach almost anything. It's a criminal act. And I have didn't even know what Ashley Madison really was until now. So I've never been on any site like that. Now, I take it back. I think back in 2003 or 4 when I was first getting a divorce, I think I got a free account on eHarmony. You know, and I was on it for like a month. What a waste of time. I'm sorry, I know there are probably some people that met their wonderful lovey-dovey spouse on eHarmony and all those other wonderful dating sites, but it was a waste of time for me. But that's it. I didn't pay for it. Thank God, because what if somebody decides to hack eHarmony now or something? I don't know. Yeah, it's just not a good thing, folks. I don't care how you look at it or how you try to justify it. It's an illegal act that puts pressure on a lot more people than were actually members. Innocent people. And a lot of innocent people are going to get harmed by this. The fallout hasn't even begun yet, folks. It really hasn't. And by the time it's all done and the dust settles and clears, most of you out there who think that the hacker or hackers right now who think that they're heroes, you're going to have a totally different opinion of them. I guarantee you. Speaking of different opinion, is anybody going to have a different opinion of a political retread? There's a rumor going on around there that there's somebody that's thinking about jumping into the race, because evidently the GOP establishment is losing confidence in Jeb because the Donald is just running amok, according to them. So Jeb is, he's supposed to be the front runner. He's supposed to be the one that they're going to give the nomination to, but it doesn't look like that Trump is going to give up that position. So there's another person who's thinking, well, maybe needs to come back in and jump back in. Yeah, Bob Dole. No, just kidding. Not Bob Dole. Not Bob Dole. I know somebody's going to hear that and start running. Bob Dole is going to try to run for president. No, not Bob Dole. But there is a retread. That is, according to this story from WND News, and he's asking the question, is this the latest strategy to help the Republican establishment fend off the seemingly unstoppable force of Donald Trump? There are reports from political insiders that Mitt Romney is now reconsidering entering into the 2016 race for the White House. So remember, Romney said that he was not interested. He was not going to get in. He was not running. He was not going to be a candidate. But now all of a sudden, Jeb Bush, who I guess it was his turn, doesn't look like he's doing so well. And Donald Trump is just pretty much crushing everybody. So now the GOP establishment is trying to pull a Democrat thing, and what are we going to do about Hillary? Well, maybe we should get Joe Biden in. So, what are they? I guess we could end up with a Biden-Romney presidential run campaign. You know what? Look, I know as funny as that may sound, but I am telling you right now that if we have a 2016 presidential campaign of Joe Biden and Mitt Romney, that you will be lucky if you get 1/3 of the eligible legal voters in this country to vote. Because people will have had it, and they will believe unequivocally that no matter what they say or do or how they vote, that their vote doesn't count or matter. It will destroy our republic. A Biden-Romney campaign will help be the end of our republic as we know it. Look, don't doubt me. I'm telling you this. Because we heard, from the beginning that both of these, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run. I'm not really interested in running. I've never thought about running. Biden, I haven't thinking about running at all. So, I'm just too busy being vice president and enjoying that under Obama. Blah, I'm not interested. And all of a sudden, maybe I need to have a meeting with Elizabeth Warren and, GOP saying, well, hey, Mitt, maybe you should reconsider, coming back in, be like Ross Perot. And jump back in and get in. I don't know. Look, didn't we already learn that Mitt can't win his first run? He lost the nomination to John McCain. And in the second run, he lost to the second term seeking Barack Hussein Obama, the president, the one who instituted something that most Americans hate, Obamacare. And yet Mitt Romney still lost. So you want to bring this guy back to do what? To lose to Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren? No, Mitt needs to stay home. Let this be a lesson to the GOP establishment. If Donald Trump is running amok because of what he is saying, and he is garnering 20, 30, 40,000 people at events all across this country because people like what he say, that should tell you something. If candidates who were down at the bottom of the polls were starting to sound like Donald Trump and they started shooting up in the polls like Dr. Carson, that should tell you something because they're sounding more like Donald Trump. And if you get people who are sounding like the same old tired, blue-blooded, rhino Republicans like Jeb Bush who are falling and sliding in the polls, that should tell you something. It doesn't mean, hey, Jeb, sorry, guy, but you're not doing it, so we're going to go get another good-looking old retread over here who's also a rhino and bring him back because, he could probably win. No, he can't. He can't win the White House. I'm sorry, Mitt Romney cannot win the White House. He doesn't need to be there at all. He needs to stay far away. Far, far away. Farther, the better. And once he gets far away, he needs to go a little bit further. Oh, I'm dead serious. Don't get me, Mitt's a nice guy. He really is. He was a decent governor for the state of Massachusetts. He really was. He would have been a much better president than Barack Obama. He really would have been. But now we've got some choices that are truly conservative. And whatever there are a lot of people out there saying, well, Donald really isn't a conservative. No, but maybe not, but he's at least has a bunch of talking points that are very conservative. And he's gotten a lot of other true conservatives talking about those talking points as well. And many of them are moving up in the polls. He's a good thing. So what we need is somebody who's a true conservative, who's as strong as Donald Trump to get into the race then. Or move up. Plain and simple. And not another blue-blooded rhino that's lost twice before. What are we going to do? 3 strikes, you're out, Mitt? We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can afford 4 years of Donald Trump, maybe 8, but we can't afford to lose and have 4 years of Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. We can't afford it. Well, Rod, you still think Hillary could? Look, Hillary's a Clinton. I know she's got troubles, but, you know, if Biden doesn't get in the race, then that means that Obama has got to put all his, you know, his faith and ability behind Clinton, even if he doesn't like him. Because otherwise, a lot of what he has accomplished is going to get undone in the first 4 years of a new presidency, and he can't have that. You can count on his ego being his undoing. The president's ego will be his undoing. So that is, unless, of course, you know, the GOP, you know, the rhinos, if they're so dead set against giving a conservative a shot that they're going to bring back Mitt, well, then President Obama's legacy will be secured. I hate to say, you know, I hate to say this, but if Romney were to get in and he were to somehow garner the nomination, yes, of course, I would support him because he'd be a far better president than a Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. But for crying out loud, we've already gone down that road. We can beat whoever the Democrats throw at us this time with just about any of the candidates on the right. Conservative candidates. Ted Cruz could beat the Democrat. Benjamin Carson, I believe, could beat the Democrat. Carly Fiorina, I believe, could beat the Democrat. Scott Walker, I believe, could beat the Democrat. And Donald Trump can definitely beat the Democrat. We don't need to go backwards, folks. Not at all. Well, folks, that sound means we are out of time for tonight. I won't be back here tomorrow. It'll be a best of show, but back live on Wednesday. Until then, I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form kydex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.